This is a rather breezy and autumnal Wellow Park. This is the top part of Wellow Park. I'm heading lower down and further into the wood because I've got an audience, at least a chance of an audience with the Queen. Now you'll have to forgive the rather croaky voice this morning, but Mike calls me not to talk much, and if you believe that, you believe pretty much anything I'll tell you. So it's a walk down there underneath where the trees are changing, and we'll see if I can have that audience. Well, thankfully my services of bringing 4 or 5 gallons of water won't be required here again, because this is the puddle that I've tried to keep damp, at least for the invertebrates, during the course of the summer of 2022. It's hard to imagine now that everywhere was completely bone dry. The only bit of dampness was some remnants of moisture in this rut along this forest track here. It provided a great source of entertainment for me personally, but a fantastic source of moisture for a whole range of invertebrates. It was full of flies, but also butterflies as well. Female purple emperor was caught coming down to obtain moisture and salts from here, as also were numerous white-letter hair streaks and the occasional holly blue. But the range of flies here was unbelievable, but it all seems so long ago now. But it's a great spot, this. It often gets water beetles in it. It's pretty much a permanent fixture. There's a ditch just on the right of the photo, just on the right alongside this track here, and that can sometimes become completely full in this bit here, and that overflows into this rutted track. But we've had plenty of rain recently, so I don't think I'll need to worry about bringing any more water, at least for another 7 or 8 months. Now, I'm not going to get any closer to this because there's plenty of activity in this hornet nest here. This is situated about 7 feet off the ground, and it's in a hollow section of trunk of this old yew tree which is here in Wellow Park. I was told about this nest a couple of weeks ago, and I thought I'd pop by and have a look. And you can see there's a lot of activities. Workers are still coming in and out. Now, this time of year the founding queen may not still be alive, but in fact I think there's a couple of young queens or drones actually. There's one just climbing down a thin twig on the just about 1 o'clock from the bottom of the entrance. There's some very large hornets. There's another one that's just coming out here. There may well be 1 or 2 drones. There's some extremely large insects here. Now they're certainly all workers, but just up from the entrance, just crawling down the twig there's a queen, a young queen, possibly a drone, but I think that's a queen, just crawling down that thin twig. It's now level with the entrance. It's much bigger than the workers. In fact, it's just dropped down. I can't go underneath it, because if I was to go underneath it, 1 or 2 of those workers that are at the entrance to the nest will certainly drop down. I'm now 6 feet 5-6 feet from that entrance. Now, as you're probably not surprised, those of you that know me, I have actually got that queen that dropped down in front. I was able to use another length of twig and put that for the queen to walk on and walk into my cunning trap. I almost got headbutted by one worker that was leaving the nest and preempting an attack. I made a swift, wheezy getaway. But if you think that worker hornets are large enough, then have a look at this. These, I know many of you will know exactly what I'm going to say, are absolutely stunning things. The workers are large enough, but if I hold my hand against this beast, you'll see just how large hornet queens are. I remember capturing a mating pair on Budby South Forest many years ago, and I took them both in to show colleagues at work the next day, and they were stunned. They'd never seen anything like it. Queens like this, you can turn up during the winter months. They'll overwinter under bark and always somewhere dry. You can find them quite often on certain trees in Sherwood Forest. Apart from that, it's usually in spring when you'll see the large queens flying around looking to form new colonies. But they are very large. This one is easily 2 inches in length, which might not sound a lot, but it is. They are super things. You have to appreciate hornets for what they are and what they do. They are, just like wasps, tremendously useful in the ecological system of things. That's the correct term I should be using for this day and age. Generally means they're very useful. They eat a lot of bad stuff, and they do. Wasps and hornets won't hurt you unless you go to hurt them, or they at least make them think you're going to hurt them. If you start wafting your arms around, you're going to get stung. And if you go sticking your bald head under a nest, you're also going to get stung. I'll tell you that through experience. I can also tell you the sting I had on my shoulder blade wasn't quite as bad as I thought. In fact, it was okay. It went red, about 6 inches all the way around. Otherwise, I've had wasp stings that came far keener, but I think if you're having a sting from a hornet or a wasp, it depends where you get stung as to the ferocity or severity of that sting. I'm safe with this one. There are fabulous things. I'll just show you a bit more in close-up. Huge. The queens are about 1.5 times the length of workers. Some workers can be extremely large. You put that against the flat of my hand and you might just be able to make it out just how large these are. So it's time for release. They're just wonderful.